Oh ho ho, it's honor band season again. I hope you all are well who are watching this. If you don't know, at least where I am in California, a lot of the honor bands come around this time, September, October, November. That's the big grind time where people go grind and they go play and then they go compete against other people, and it's a big competition, which is kind of like the title, band is a sport. But yeah, today I wanted to talk about the competitiveness of music because it's around that time again. This video is me looking at it's the Bass Clarinet solo for American in Paris, rehearsal 15. It's actually so fun. Also, if you don't know what an honor band is, it's basically where you go audition in this big gymnasium with all these sweaty music nerds, and then hopefully you pray that you'll get first chair, or you'll get in the band. But at any rate, the topic of this video is the idea that band is a sport and the idea that it should be very competitive. I used to be of this mindset greatly. Out of all the honor bands I did, I've only been not first chair like once. And it was to this guy who was really good, and I totally deserved to not get first chair. Yeah, I think the pursuit of getting first chair is something that has motivated me a lot to try and get better, but also I don't think it's been all positive. You know, this is something I've been starting to realize, but I think there's generally this idea that you must be first chair or else you're really trash. Or maybe I just told myself that, which may be just as bad. At any rate, I wanted to talk about how your chair doesn't really matter, not gonna lie. So I want to talk about my experience at Allstate, because Allstate was the time I got the lowest chair I've ever gotten, which probably would make sense because it's Allstate and I live in California, which, if you don't know, we have 54 delegates, which, okay, I'm pretty sure each delegate means there's 700,000 people. I actually have a gov test on Monday, so we gotta figure that out, but suffice to say, there's a hell of a lot of people here, and I did get into Allstate last year, but I don't even know what chair I got, because they divide it into like 4 groups, and then there's like alternates, but I got into like the bottom group. I was for sure of the bottom group, but I was still in the bottom group, and I think that got to me quite a bit when the results came out. I was honestly a bit embarrassed that I had gotten in, which is like so funny, because even if all I cared about was the ranking, I still had beaten like a lot of other people at my school who got rejected, and so it was a bit irrational, but I think it was out of a hunger for always wanting to be perfect and be first chair. And the time between like when results came out and when the actual honor band was, because if you get into an honor band, it's kind of like a weekend thing. You get to meet some new people, and the instrumentation is usually pretty good because it's pretty competitive, and there's no needing to double parts or anything. But anyways, there was a lot of time where I was just sat there for like 2 months just being like, wow, I got like 11th probably, or maybe even worse. I don't really know, because they don't really tell you, which I find really cool. But yeah, man, it did get to me, and I was honestly pretty demotivated from practicing. I don't think during those 2 months I had practiced over maybe 30 hours, which is pretty low for me. And obviously hours aren't the only thing that matters when you practice, but I'm just saying that like a lot of the time when I would previously practice, I just didn't really feel like it. But then after those 2 months, I actually went to the damn thing. And it was so fun, dude. Like, I got to meet all these people who are really good at bass clarinet and really good at their instrument, and I really had a great time. And I think that's when I realized that the chairs didn't really matter, how you ranked, because all that really matters is that you get in. But even if I didn't get in, the experience of practicing and getting better at my instrument to prep for that audition, the actual benefit to me is getting better at music, and that's all you really need, you know? I mean, it's good to learn new repertoire, you know? And even if you get rejected, you still get that benefit. And I should add that I'm talking from a pretty privileged position here. I've never been rejected from an honor band, and I think I've only not been first chair like twice out of like 6 honor bands total, so I do want to say that I'm incredibly privileged to be talking like I am, but I still hope that the idea connects and makes sense to you lot. So you may be like, Brian, you just said all that, but I don't care. Here is my endpoint, okay? The reason I'm talking about all this is because not too long ago, I was chatting with this little bass clarinet player. They're so cute. They're in the 9th grade. But I was talking to them and having a conversation with them really made me realize how I still wasn't really living with the mindset of not trying to be competitive. Something I noticed was that I wasn't just willing to share advice on some of the excerpts. which is like, come on. like we all just want to be good at our excerpts. I'd love if somebody gave me some like help. I'm sure other people would love it if they got some help. But if we're all like trying to be competitive and trying to hide information from each other, like it's friggin' like World War II and we're hiding like secret info, I don't know. It's just not as fun, you know? I think people will improve better as a group than they will on their own. And if they're working together to make something happen, then I think everybody's going to benefit and everybody's going to get the knowledge from everybody failing. But I think the whole competitiveness of band is what really ruins the sort of camaraderie and teamwork that could exist otherwise. But because of how chairs are set up and how they work, makes it so that people are less willing to share. But I think the solution is really simple. I think we should just be nice to each other and tell each other our tips anyway if people ask. Because hear me out, okay? Hear me out. I know you probably, okay, if you're watching this and you're preparing for an audition, you're like, what the hell? I do not want to share my trade secrets with my enemy. But I ask that you hear me out for like a minute, okay? So if I share all my tips and tricks and all my little sleazy advice with my friend, and maybe they'll beat me. I mean, let's be honest. Whatever tip you give someone probably isn't going to make the difference between them getting a higher chair than you or them getting a lower chair than you. And 2, it just makes them better. And 3, you make friends. You know, like, what's the point of this at the end of the day? Like, your chair placement in a freaking honor band. Like, we're in high school, dude. It is not that big of a deal, yo. Like. Like, it's just not a big deal, and I think we should be happy to share stuff with each other. And if I give someone advice and they beat me, it's probably not because of that advice. It's probably because they just learned the actual excerpts better than I did, and that's fine. And what's the point of all this at the end of the day, right? Like, we're all here, goofy high schoolers trying to have a fun time, right? I think we should all try and be nice and friendly, my fellow fellas. We should all try and be friends with each other. And I think the point of like all of music at the end of the day is to communicate with people and be friendly, right? Because the reason like I've come to conclude why I like playing bass clarinet, I like playing clarinet, is because I can communicate like emotions with people. It's like having another voice that I can speak to people with and people can enjoy. And the whole idea of it being super competitive and not wanting to trade secrets or not like telling people what equipment you use or whatever is something that's deeply like really competitive and is rooted in everything music isn't, because music is about sharing, it's about caring, it's about being good friend to your fellow fella. But the whole idea of being competitive and trying to get first chair is the complete opposite of that. And I also want to add that honor bands are probably the least competitive version of music that's out there. Let's consider literally every orchestra position nowadays with like 150 people auditioning for them for one goddamn chair in an orchestra. What the hell? I couldn't even imagine going professional and having to deal with that. Would I still be sharing like my tips with other people if I was doing that? I don't know, but I think I should. I'd hope that I'd be willing to share stuff with people and that they would share stuff with me and we can all be good friends and we can all make it together. But I think that's something that's also just at the heart of the problem. It's just that we're all competing for such few spots. It's like a really crappy game of musical chairs where instead of trying to move really fast, we try and literally use war tactics to hide secrets from each other and practice in private and not share stuff like this video of me practicing an excerpt. A year ago when I totally had the mindset of trying to be like a friggin' army veteran, trying to hide my like secrets of practicing, I would never share this. This is like 20 minutes of me figuring stuff out. This is something that I would never share. But now that I'm trying to adopt this mindset, this is something I'm totally willing to share. And it's something that I'm not too scared of sharing, because even if someone who I'm competing against sees this and watches this and is like, oh, that's a really good fingering for that one really fast part or whatever, then good for them, man. Like, they probably would have figured it out anyway. But hopefully they, repay me some way, maybe they'll be a nice friend to me or something, you know what I'm saying? I also saw this short film recently called First Chair. It's on the channel Amaletto. I'll link it in the description. But it was an amazing film that really made me think about this. And it's a short film. It's like 10 minutes, and it's basically about how this how this girl is like first year out of school, and then this new kid comes along and he's really good, and the singing audition is that week, and so she feels threatened that her first year is going to get taken, and instead of working on a song that she was writing for the piano, she continues to practice clarinet purely out of the competitive spirit of wanting to be first year. She actually gives up this thing that she loved a lot, which was in the short film of working on this really good song, because they play like a verse of it and it's like so good. She gives it up to go learn Molly on the Shore. And I guess that's a bit extreme, but I think also that the pursuit of first year can do that to people. They can give up the stuff that they really enjoy for a ranking, which I think is really sad, man. But I also relate to this. I did this. This channel can only exist if I'm letting go of my competitive spirit. But that's something I really didn't want to do for quite a while. I think I would have started this YouTube channel at least 2 years earlier if I wasn't this competitive. And even when I first started, and even now, I haven't told friends about this YouTube channel. It just exists in the world. I think a few friends know just through word of mouth, and also because if you Google Bass Clarinet on YouTube, my face shows up, so I don't, it's kind of hard to hide that. But anyway, even when I started this, it was supposed to be quote-unquote hidden or whatever, so that people wouldn't get a competitive advantage over me. What I'll leave you all with is think about how you can embrace more of what music is about and sharing stuff with people and enjoying it, and focus less on how you can be competitive and how you can beat other people, especially in this season of Honor Band. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!